Long story short, today I was looking through my phone collection and thinking, what are the weirdest phones I own? Well, I don't actually own that Bang & Olufsen phone, but I am in the process of buying one. The video about that is coming a bit later, but today we're gonna take a look at some of the weirdest phones I own currently, and those are pretty weird. I can guarantee you that. So let's start, like usually top 5 start from number 5. What do you think when you look at this? Well, it's a normal Motorola phone. No, you don't think that. It's round and has moving weird thingy on top. Well, let me explain why it's number 5. This phone is very old. It was made back in the day when even iPhones were made out of plastic, and it is much older than the first iPhone. And it's fully made out of metal, out of aluminum, which is very weird for that time period. It's made out of premium materials. It looks very good. Now, sadly, the charger for this is American, so I can't actually boot it up. But you're not missing much. The interface is basically just text. Take your time to appreciate the fact that even in the previous decades there already were aluminum phones. And Samsung has only just started making phones out of metal. Number 4 is also very old and also unbootable. Forgive me for that. But it's an interesting idea. It's because of the series of badly implemented features, just died. The Nokia N-Gage. It was intended as a callable PSP that you could take with you and call, but calling it was a little bit awkward considering the weird microphone location. But I'm old enough to catch those days when people were playing on their little phones, and it was very uncomfortable and overall just horrible. So making a phone that's also a console just makes sense, doesn't it? Well, not exactly. And to switch your games, you'd actually have to remove the battery. So you'd have to shut down your phone completely to just swap the games. And otherwise, I can see myself using it. Being able to play on the go back when it wasn't that mainstream. You'd have to carry your Game Boy around, or whatever people had back then. This phone. Oh, this phone. I really like this phone. It's one of those rare species of phones when its weirdness factor makes it not worse, but better. It's very lightweight, has a great design, very thin, and on top of it all, it has a transparent display. The display that looks better outdoors than any phone ever. It does lack a camera feature, but we have to remember that the phone designers had twice as less space than normal phone manufacturers. And for that space, they did a very, very good job. To be honest, it's probably one of the best phones on this list, and probably the only one that's actually half decent. It has a downside. If you like your security, you definitely should not buy a phone that cannot protect your messages from a guy standing in front of you, because, the whole display transparent thing. Hey, Galaxy Beam! I've already done a review on you. What are you doing here? And you, viewer, instead of watching this brief info, you could just watch a video. A full review. Anyway, there's not much to say that hasn't been said already. It's normal budget Samsung phone that somebody built a projector into. The projector is okay. The performance, like on all Samsung phones, is average. And I personally think it's one of the only creative Samsung phones. Apart from the new fancy Edge and Note stuff, it was once the only creative thing, because Samsung is known for making a million of same phones. Obviously, projector is not visible outdoors, and overall it's pretty weak. It requires a dark place, but if you have a dark place, it's really cool. This phone sucks. In every way possible, it sucks. From the performance, I couldn't see anything outdoors, to camera features, like, I'm not lying, I was trying to make a test video for you to check out the quality, but the camera app didn't start up. It just kept lagging and said like, oh, we can connect to the camera, and just kept lagging. The phone is very fragile. I bet these thin little leg thingies will not hold a single drop, and when you get this thing to the service and say, can you please join these two phones together, they'll be like, what? Sorry mate, what? So the only thing you should consider, even for a second, to buy this thing is if you're a collector, and if you because it has a cool factor of being a tablet. With some simple moves, the display becomes twice as big. It becomes a tablet. Everything's now bigger. You can watch movies, and when you don't need the big display, you can just fold it up. The phone is very sick though because of this, and as I said, it just sucks. Like, there's nothing good about it. It has all the Android horrible specs. You think they'd be able to cram up good specs into two phones that size, but no, they didn't. Battery life is also horrible. You have 3 batteries in a box. Well, this is it. I've done it. I've done my first ever in my life top 5. If you want to see and know more about these phones, perhaps a detailed review, subscribe to my channel and leave more likes and subscribe. If I have 1,000 subscribers, I'll be happy. Really happy. For now, I'm gonna leave you with your boring old phone. What do you have? A HTC, Motorola? Why not just buy a Kyocera